Sometimes, people on the internet say things that aren't true. I'm one of those people. Prepare to be misinformed. Over 50% of all college students are failing at least one class, typically having an F in something called gender. The reason it's considered bad luck to walk under a ladder is because if you do that, you're 85% more likely to hit your head on the underside of a ladder. On a map, if you placed Canada over Russia, due to gravity, a large amount of people would die. A hit and run is when a homicide occurs on a baseball field. During the Great Cotton Candy Shortage of 1915, there was a sharp uptick in hospitalizations of people who ate insulation foam, claiming it was, quote, worth a shot. Car accidents are the second leading cause of death in America, overshadowed only by car intentionals. Scientists have been searching for years to find a color between yellow and blue, but have yet to succeed. The most common hypothesis for what this color would be is known as green. The quote, "I think, therefore I am," was coined by Markiplier. According to all known archaeological evidence, the fruit that Eve ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil was a lemon, and the first sin she ever became aware of was how bad lemons tasted. This type of file is actually pronounced MP4. Strawberries were invented as part of a guerrilla marketing campaign for the then upcoming animated TV series Strawberry Shortcake. The tragic disappearance of Atlantis in the early 20th century was not due to an underwater landslide, as many scientists will now claim. Rather, it was a cover-up by the NOAA to hide the fact that they forgot where it was.
At the height of its civilization, the sun never set on the Roman Empire. This is because Sol, the Roman god of the sun, lived on Mount Olympus at the time, and the light was bright enough to reach Rome during the whole day. When the Roman Empire fell, Sol mysteriously disappeared, casting most of Europe into 900 consecutive years of darkness, which became known as the Dark Ages.
Ma'am is not a contraction of the word madam. It's a contraction of the historically obsolete ma'am. Despite their name, dragonflies aren't actually flies, but rather a very small species of hummingbird. Anti-disestablishmentarianism is a fungal disease affecting the earlobes. This is what's known as having the tism.
If you enter a crowded airport and scream, "I have a bomb," nothing happens.
Typically, the human body cannot survive extremely low temperature, preferring to stay around 310 Kelvin. But at a certain temperature, if you go low enough, the body loops back around and is able to survive again. It's been theorized that at absolute zero, people become okay again.
The movie Schindler's List was historically inaccurate because in 1945, Liam Neeson hadn't even been born yet. Pirates had eye patches and peg legs because they considered it blasphemous to have two of the same body part. This was part of their unique religion, veneration of the mythical One Piece. The Roomba is the only North American subspecies of rodent that is commonly allowed in households. On Windows computers, if an app is not responding, simply scream its name 3 times in a row. This will wake it up and cause it to refresh.
The secret trick to winning every debate is a special tool called a gun. Bringing this tool to a debate makes your opponent automatically admit that you won.
The name of the car company Ford comes from a misspelling of the number 4. This is because that's how many letters are in the name Ford.
The reason Christians are opposed to gambling is because the word anti, used in many betting games, is short for Antichrist. My social security number is 24.
If you type this string into most US job application portals, you'll be immediately promoted to President of the United States. This is a holdover from the early days of computers, and it's actually how Jimmy Carter became president. Everyone was too embarrassed to admit the mistake, so they covered it up with an election.
Boxing Day is a holiday celebrated the day after Christmas, where you're allowed to invite anyone who gave you a bad Christmas present to a boxing duel and punch them into submission until they promise to never do it again.
The reason the black keys on a piano are notated with symbols called sharps in sheet music is because originally, in place of black keys, pianos simply had large gaping holes full of sharp metallic parts that people kept cutting their hands on anytime they tried to press them.
The word Q is pronounced with 0 letters. The country Madagascar got its name when a Venetian sailor visited and said that it reminded him of the movie Madagascar. The Tinder swipe left, swipe right system originates in ancient Mesopotamia, where women during courtship for marriage would place their man in front of a fire. If they liked him, they would push him to the right, away from the fire, to safety. But if they did not like him, they would push him to the left, where he would burn to death.
The true purpose of the Great Wall of China was never defensive. It was built to be the world's longest mini-golf hole, but the Ming Emperor canceled the project because he kept getting bogeys.
Only you have inner thoughts. Everyone else is lying. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. This is a haiku. Can I write one properly? Sorry, I can't.
1 pound of feathers is lighter than 1 pound of steel. This discrepancy is what allows birds to fly.
Your screen is upside down. Cadbury's delicious robin eggs were actually one of 2 types of chocolate eggs created by Cadbury for the Easter season. The first type, Batman eggs, were too large to eat and quickly fell out of fashion. What most people don't realize about the famous escape scene from The Shawshank Redemption is that the warden's reaction to Andy's escape was genuine, as the director had kidnapped all of the prisoner actors and kept them locked on set for months to make their acting more believable. Tim Robbins was able to dig a hole through his cell wall using nothing but his lapel mic, but was unfortunately immediately hit and killed by a car because the driver thought he was a real prison escapee and Californians hate the poor. This is why the movie abruptly ends after that scene and why Tim Robbins was never in another good movie.
Bluetooth is actually the second name given to the wireless audio technology it's commonly associated with. The first was Peripheral Entity Network Intercommunication System, which was abandoned for unknown reasons.
Aging is the body's natural reaction to the deadly chemical oxygen. Cancer was cured almost a decade ago by Joe Bartolozzi. The reason this cure hasn't been widespread is because it requires a kiss on the forehead directly from Joe, and he's a very busy guy. If you like this video and subscribe to IRDM, you won't get $1 million.
After the success of the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo tried to follow up the release with a smaller, lightweight version called the Nintendo Light Switch. However, this release was panned by critics and quickly swept under the rug because their factory in China misread the instructions and made actual light switches.
I often get mistaken for Air Bud. There was a man living under my house named Flumbert. Autism causes Tylenol. If you're ever bitten by a moray eel, immediately place a blue-ringed octopus on the wound so you have a more interesting problem. The :3 emoticon originated in the 1920s as an anti-furry dog whistle, representing how the speaker wished to tear out the colons of 3 furries. It was reclaimed in the 2010s and retroactively determined to represent a cat face.
The 50 stars of the US flag represent the 50 letters of the alphabet.
One of the best songs for keeping tempo during CPR is Nikolai Korsakov's Flight of the Bumblebee. The word dogs became a slang term for feet because of this famous medieval painting, which drew strong cultural associations between the 2 topics.
A 2007 study has shown that the most effective way of resolving a disagreement is by discrediting your opponent so badly that no one will value their opinion ever again. This was disproven by later studies, but the authors of those studies were exposed for academic dishonesty, plagiarism, tax fraud, money laundering, and kicking puppies every day, so they were probably wrong.
The philosophical quote, "I hate my stupid baka life," has been misattributed to Winston Churchill, but was originally said by Napoleon Bonaparte.
Scientists have recently discovered that socks don't actually disappear in the wash. If you wash them enough times, they gain enough EXP that they rank up to another piece of clothing. This is why mysterious graphic tees with inappropriate slogans on them keep appearing in your son's closet.
An unassuming but incredibly useful item in survival situations is the flashlight, as it can be eaten when you're low on rations. For many years, it was illegal to microwave metal objects like forks, knives, and pistols. But in 2025, America passed the Microwave Act, which undid these restrictions and allowed Americans the freedom they deserve. I forgive you. The reason the company Google was given its iconic name is because that's the first word its founder ever said when he was born. They tried to name one of their subsidiaries Gaga after his second word, but the copyright was denied by the singer. Nike's famous slogan is derived from the last words of convicted murderer Gary Gilmore, transforming a morbid phrase into a visceral call to action, fitness, and personal responsibility. Those last words were, "Ah! I'm being electrocuted!"
IRDM's username is a reference to the physics equation for the moment of inertia of a solid cylinder. I equals integral of r squared dm. This is because I can be approximated as a cylinder.
The Icelandic language is so old and has changed so little that it still has words for as yet undiscovered species of dinosaur, such as the Jarlskjolfthi, which is believed to have had 3 heads.
This is a simplified version of the American flag made for enhanced readability in emojis and other smaller art forms. The singular star is meant to represent America's most important state, South Dakota. You will die on or after December 31st, 2029 at 5:15 a.m. EST. The slow disappearance of the ice caps is not due to global warming, but rather because people keep taking too many ice cubes from it to put in drinks. This is why Europe has banned ice in drinks since 2020. The bird that's currently interrupting my recording is going to live a long and peaceful life and will not end up as fried chicken tonight. Despite its spelling, the former country Czechoslovakia is actually pronounced chicken. This is coincidentally what Czechoslovakians taste like. The direction right is named that way because historically it was considered the correct or right dominant hand to use, while left comes from the fact that people who were left-handed were required by law to be exiled, and they left the country. The Greek alphabet was originally created as fan fiction of the Latin alphabet. Everyone at some point was very briefly the oldest person on Earth. Contrary to popular belief, gender was not exclusively created to sell more bathrooms. It was a joint venture between bathroom companies and explosive manufacturers to sell more gender reveal parties.
The moon is much more important to humans than the sun, because the moon provides us light during the night when things are dark, and the sun only provides us light during the day when things are already bright.
This video is a re-upload, as in the first version I made several factual errors that I've now corrected. I promise to be much more deliberate about my fact-checking in the future installments of this series. Kevin Bacon's name is actually just a nickname given to him because of his love of pork. His real name is Abdullah al-Hassan ibn Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Zayati. Pablo Picasso's full name was Pab. The first name John was invented by John, who tried to have names twice at the same time. There is a perfectly safe and stable landing mat in front of me, and I will not hurt myself if I jump off this ledge.
I like bananas, I think the mangoes are sweet. I like papayas, nothing can beat that sweet.